Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited, highly anticipated, one of the hottest coaches in the St. Louis area. The guy goes nameless, but I knew him when he was an apprentice out at Fort Zumwalt East with this Nolan guy, and he comes out with cream rises, and we are now talking, ladies and gentlemen, to the head coach of the Jaguars of Fort Zumwalt West. What's your name, sir?
Brian Hruby.
I tell you, I looked at that name, how you spell it, and I said, I think I'm going to have this guy write that. I wouldn't have gotten it.
Oh, I've heard a lot of different renditions of how to say my last name. I basically answered just about anything.
All right then, man. All right. But sincerely, I want you to know that you and your team and staff are well certified, baby. You're in the well certified already because of what you did, not what you're going to do next season. Because, I'm all fired up for you. But you really had a good season, Coach. Congratulations.
I appreciate that a lot. I mean, the boys get all the credit. They worked extremely hard, and it was a good group to go through this, go on this journey with. And, we had a couple of things go our way throughout the course of the season. And it's always nice when you get to play on the final weekend of the season down at Soccer Park. I mean, that's kind of what you aim for. And I know that experience is something that I'm going to remember, and it's an experience that I'm sure all the players will remember as well.
Well, you're going to get well certified on your own. You're right, man. You're a buddy of the whale when you talk about a journey, because that's what it is. Like you said, you started around June, and you want to have that Thanksgiving dinner, and however it goes, that's it. You can't do over. There's nobody to call to say, "Hey, man, can you help me out?" It's what it is, and it just gives me goosebumps to be involved in it, and I've been on all sides of that, and it's basically you have to look in the mirror. Did you do a job or did you do it? Did you finish the journey? And because it's the year. And so I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that you finished the journey. The Jaguars, they finished the journey.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we started at the beginning of June, and, you have to go through the preseason, the fitness out in the heat, and, trying to just get technical work on the ball. And obviously, with my first year in the program, a lot of it for me was just getting to know the players on all of our teams essentially, and once matches start, we lost our first game of the year, and things started to spiral. I had to pull myself out of the rabbit hole a little bit, but we ended up having a really, really successful season, and like I said, I mean I love. Don't get me wrong. I love winning, and I'm always a very competitive person. But and making an impact on the players' lives, just going through the preparation and working extremely hard, and then kind of trying to control as much as you can control, and then kind of letting the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
We go into a game. We want to make sure we're prepared. We want to. We watch film. We want to make sure that our training sessions are meaningful. We want to make sure that we're fit. We want to make sure that we take care of our bodies, we're healthy, and, we give ourselves the best chance of having success. And, lucky for us, a couple of things went our way, and we were able to have a good amount of success.
Yeah. And can you tell the audience, how did you finish?
So we ended up, we won our district. We ended up beating St. Dominic in the district final. And then we made it to state quarterfinal and played Francis Howell, familiar opponent, because they're also a GAC team. They're in our conference. It's someone we played earlier in the season. It's a pretty heated rivalry, I would say, historically. And we ended up beating Francis Hall in overtime on a very crazy goal from our goalkeeper from half field, and that punched our ticket to getting to go down to Soccer Park and play in the state semifinal. And we played SLUH in the state semifinal, and we ended up losing 1-0. SLUH is a cut above. I think they're very deep. They're very talented. They worked extremely hard. I think the 1-0 it flattered us, I think, a little bit that it was such a tight scoreline. Because SLUH, I think, they were obviously the better side on that day, and then we got to play in the third place match on the 22nd, on the very last day of the season. We played against a very good Park Hill South team, and we ended up coming out ahead 3-2. So we finished third in the state in Class 4, and it's always nice when you can end your season on a win. Obviously, I think we would have all loved to have been playing in the championship game, but winning the third place game is no small feat, because then you get to end the season on a win and everyone's in a good mood. So,
pardon me why I stand up and applaud, Coach. Nice, baby, way to go. Hey, how about the school record? Is that somewhere, did you go deep, or are you the top dog, or what?
Yeah, I know I know a little bit of the history, but, the players don't really let me forget. They know more about it than I do, actually. But, this is the first time I believe this is the first time we made it to state. I could be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure it's the first time we made it to the semifinals and getting to play on the last day of the season. So, yeah, it's a 21 season, and we had a stretch in the middle where we went 17 games unbeaten. I know that's all stuff that the players are going to remember, and that's, obviously you love it when it happens. You like it to look back on, but, the memories that are created for the players is kind of what it's all about.
Well, you had some fine some players, but that goalkeeper, since I'm a goalkeeper, I hope to get to interview him shortly.
He's a good one.
He's
only a junior, so we're lucky enough to have him for one more year.
That's right. He goes
off to play at the next level.
And he's a multi-sport. He's a baseball player too, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he's an athlete. He's one that you can just kind of see walking the halls, and you can tell he's whatever the sport may be, he's probably pretty good at it. So.
Yeah. There is something about the presence of someone, and you have. I guess you'll wait until after the holidays and come around, for the school year, and then at the end of the school year, you say, "Hey, man, you're going to be leaving and turning around for tryouts. You better be ready."
Yeah, it's crazy. Once it's over, you get a little bit of downtime, and then all of a sudden, it's going to start right back up again.
Yeah. Are you going to be coaching the girls' season?
I am. Yeah, I'm the head girls coach as well over there at West. I love it. I consume the game. In my free time, I love to watch film. I love to plan practices, plan training sessions, and obviously I was an athlete my whole life. I like to compete and just build those relationships with players and students, because I do teach at Fort Zumwalt West as well. So it is nice to see them as in the middle of the day, I'm their math teacher, but after 2:30, all of a sudden I start training as a soccer coach.
Yeah, right. So where'd you find your play, your enjoyment of the game? Where did you?
I played growing up, but I played baseball in college, weirdly enough. But I've just always been a soccer fan, and ever since I can remember, I've always liked to watch and just kind of consume the game, whether it's live or whether it's waking up early on Saturday mornings and watching the Premier League, or now that STL City has a team, it's always nice. But I don't know, I've just always been kind of fascinated with it. I love to coach because it's the bond you can make with your players. It's the bond you can have with athletes, and you can kind of resonate with them a bit because I understand how hard it is to have that time commitment, and also you're a student athlete, so the student comes first, and you want to make sure you're handling your grades. You want to handle all of the stuff that comes from being just a high school aged student, and on top of that, you've got to play, pretty high level soccer in the St. Louis area. We're lucky enough to live in an area where the high school soccer game is pretty big. There's a lot of really, really talented schools in the area, and all the just more opportunities to compete every year.
I mean, you beat the big daddies, but SLUH was just back to back. I mean, that's gosh, that's just really every once in a decade or whatever. But when you beat Dominic and Francis Howell to get to the Final Four, I mean, baby, there's a lot of luck, but there's a lot of real passion and enjoyment of the game to be able to do that. Hats off to you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, the players deserve the credit. They, like you said, they work extremely hard, and their tails were up for those games, and you could kind of tell in the Dominic game in the district final, you could kind of tell the morning of, because it was a Saturday kick time at noon, so we met at the school because we took the bus over because it was an away game. So we met at the school a couple hours beforehand, obviously, and you could just kind of tell the players were really locked in, almost too locked in. It was almost like I didn't want them to play nervous, but they could kind of tell that the moment was big, and I had to actually remind a couple of them that I'm like, hey, do me a favor, make sure you have some fun today. Like, it's a big moment. I know you're focused. I know there's a lot going on, but make sure you take the time to take it in yourself and enjoy it and be in the moment and have fun, because it is a game that these players have been playing their entire lives. And, it is a big moment, and it's something that I want them to remember. We played extremely well. We executed what we needed to execute and got out of there with a big win, and it was it was a lot of fun.
Brian, you really hit on something to me that I want to take the shovel out and get deeper here about the enjoyment of that moment. That all of it's not silly business, but it is a calm. It is a quiet confidence. It is that you trust your training. You trust that you belong in that moment, and you're going to do everything you can do, and so is all my teammates, to try to have that victory. But in either way, we go on the pitch together, and we come off the pitch together.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, it's one of those things where we were through the ups and downs of the season. We kind of controlled everything we could control. We did everything we could do to prep, and then we just kind of had to lay our chips out on the table and play. And I wanted to make sure they knew that win or lose, like I was extremely proud of the effort and everything and all the focus. And St. Dominic's a very good team. They're a very decorated team historically. They're very experienced in those moments, and I wanted to make sure that our guys knew, like, hey, we've worked hard. Like we've earned the right. They have earned our players have earned the right to be there, and they were extremely focused, and it was nice. It was nice to get the win over a really, really talented St. Dominic side, and then obviously again versus Francis Howell. That was almost a strange one because it's such a familiar opponent.
Yeah.
That it's like not very often you get to the state quarterfinal and you're looking across the bracket, you see it's because Francis Howell took care of business beating Francis Howell Central in their district final, and then we look across and it's not your typical, it's not a CBC, it's not a DeSmet, it's not another private school, but it's a GAC opponent, and it's kind of weird because we're both so familiar with one another. All the players know each other extremely well. I mean, some of them play club together, and it was just everyone at that stage that left deserved to be there, and
absolutely.
worked really hard, and we were lucky enough, we were fortunate enough to make our way down to play SLUH on the 21st.
Man, I tell you, that's the GAC, baby. They know your next door neighbor. I mean, they're right there in the neighborhood, and you better take care of business when you come up against the GAC.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice that our conference did so well. I mean, even Howell Central and Howell played in their district final. I mean, we were in our district final, so that's 3 GAC schools that that are all very familiar.
I smell bonus. I smell a bonus.
I don't know if that's how it works,
but that the simplicity of the game, I kind of wish I knew then what I know now. Is the simplicity to bring it down to the simple form is genius on the soccer field. And if I could have done that with mathematics and calculus, is it totally two different apples and oranges, or do you see this simplicity of being genius?
I mean, I do like to focus on the details that are there.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it is like I said, once the game starts, all the adrenaline starts to wear off, all the preparation. You just kind of hope that that's something that will stick throughout the course of a match. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's 11 on 11. It's who's going to execute more, who's going to take their chance when it falls, and you just do what you can to put yourself in the best situation to win. But it's not always going to go your way, and I mean that's sports for you. I mean, I'm sure you know all about that. You've probably been on both sides of those, and I just I do like the detail, the preparation of it.
Absolutely, and I hope you understood me. I was taking that into the simplicity of it all.
Yeah.
Making difficult matters seem simplistic, because
I mean it's one of those things to where in the moment you just I trusted all. I mean, it is nice. I trusted all my players, and it was a very I'm not a very animated person on the sideline, and I let the players kind of work through things, and then we make our corrections, at halftime, or we make adjustments here and there. But it's for them. I want it to be a simple process. I want it to be something that they know their responsibilities. They're focusing on that, and they're not worrying about X, Y, or Z. They're focused on their task at hand, and everyone's collectively working together, obviously, but also everyone out there is individually working on different aspects of something that we could have talked about in the week leading up to it. But yeah, it's a very nuts and bolts of it it's very simple.
Yeah. And because that's what I found out about coaching, is that when Terry Minkler asked me to come along with him, I says, hey, I don't know nothing from nothing. And he said, just teach them what they taught you. I said, okay, and we'll start there. And then I kind of, found my way, and I feel very satisfied as a coach. And I found out early on, hey, man, this ain't about the X's and O's. This is about human relationships.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I mean, it's, like I said, I trusted the players, and, you can have practices, you can have training sessions, you can have tactic boards and everything like that. But if, the players trusted me and I trusted them, and we kind of all worked together, we all kind of, I trusted them to execute. I trusted them to go out there and play their style, play their game. I wasn't trying to put a round peg in a square hole.
Yeah.
And they trusted that I was always looking out for the best of them. And yeah, it was just player relationship. I mean, that's something that's part of it. I mean, that's the main reason anyone gets into coaching is, the bond and the relationship you can build with your athletes.
Yeah. Hey, man, peel the onion for me, Brian. Is there recruiting going on in the school districts, say, You in Fort Zumwalt. Hey, you ain't going to East, man. You're coming over to the West.
No, sadly, that's not how it works for public school. It's based on where people live and situations. But I think the bigger aspect would probably be with the club game and the high school game. Those are have been a little bit of a battle because some players opt to go into the academy route or something like that. But no, sadly, I can't just go walk down the street and find someone and say, "Hey, come to Fort Zumwalt West." As much as that would be nice, but it's based off of where the district draws the lines, and which is nice because it's a community that those players at Zumwalt West all live. They live 10 minutes from each other. They grew up together essentially, all going to the same middle schools, and now they get to all play for the same high school, and they get to support the Jaguar crest on their chest. And,
baby.
There's something romantic about sports when you can, play for the community that helped mold you into the person you became.
Yes, nice. And because there's a Fort Zumwalt West, a Fort Zumwalt East, a Fort Zumwalt South, and a Fort Zumwalt North.
Yeah, they all four cardinal directions to take care of there.
Yeah, baby. I mean, it is. Can you give the Whale Certified Nation a geography lesson about where is the greater community at, and where's the slices?
So it is kind of weird because Fort Zumwalt North is on the north side of 70, right between 70 TR Hughes area. But then Fort Zumwalt East, Fort Zumwalt South, and Fort Zumwalt West are all basically on Mexico Road. And anytime any of those teams play each other, it's just, the joke is that it's just, we're playing our neighbor down the street. And, and obviously Fort Zumwalt East is the farthest east, and we're the farthest west, and north is on the north side of 70, and south's kind of right in the middle. So it is crazy, though, that east, south, and west are all on the same. You could take one road and hit all three of them. So anytime the Zumwalt schools play each other, there's a little bit of a neighborhood rivalry, I guess you would say, just because it's all down the street from each other. But
and what are the cities that are involved?
So St. Peter's, O'Fallon area. So I think Fort Zumwalt West is technically O'Fallon. Fort Zumwalt East crosses over, and I think it's technically in St. Peter's. I could be wrong there, though.
Yeah, right.
It's right on the border. But yeah, all in the greater St. Charles, Missouri County area. But it's just out off Highway 70. It just depends on what exit you get off of as to what high school you're going to go to.
Nice. So there's a custom here at Whale Certified, Brian, is to be able to say, "Hey, Brian, whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to, for as long as you want to say it for."
Okay. I mean, that's now you put me on the spot. Basically, I want to thank the players and the parents that I had them. It is my first season as a head coach, and sometimes drama or something can derail a season a little bit, and I was lucky enough to come into a situation where the players bought in right away. The parents were all extremely supportive. My administrators, my principals, my athletic director, everyone was extremely supportive and always there, because there was a little bit of growing pains. Some things that I was just trying to figure out early on, and making sure I was trying to dot all my I's and cross all my T's correctly and follow protocol. But coming in as I wasn't in the program, and I was coaching at Zumwalt East, which to them they could have viewed that as they could have even viewed that as a rivalry if you really wanted to, because I was one of those Zumwalt schools down the street. But coming into it, the players were all very welcoming, and because I was joining their team that they had put their blood, sweat, and tears into the seniors that put 4 years into it, and I wanted to make sure I did a service to them, because when I was an athlete, that's what I wanted out of a coach, is someone that showed that they truly cared. And the players were all they're all a good hang. I like to say that. I'm like, you're a good hang. They're good guys to be around. They're good locker room guys. There was really no drama. They just, they were super competitive, but they were good. It was a good group of people, and I just want to thank them. And it made my first year really, really memorable. And now I have this. Everyone. There's been jokes that are made. It's like, oh, just do this every year. And I'm like, sadly, I don't think that's how it works. You don't usually, you can work extremely hard to get back to where you were the previous season. But for me, I just wanted to enjoy the moment with them. And, the players deserve all the credit. They're an awesome group of guys. And the seniors that are going on to the next level or, those colleges that are getting them are all going to be, very lucky to get extremely hardworking athletes, and the underclassmen that are going to come back next year, we get the luxury of trying to run it all back and do it all again.
Well, I guarantee you, man, you just got well certified. You said I put you on the spot, but being you is all you need to do here at Well Certified, because you got it, man. You got it.
I appreciate that.
But I don't have a producer, and I forgot to look at my notes. I was supposed to ask you two other things. One is for next season, but before we talk next season, let's look back to your seniors that are going out. Didn't you have some all-state player or recognized player?
I did, yeah. So all-state. So we had Cade Williams is senior center back. He is going to be obviously he's going to be graduating. He's going to be playing at UMSL in the fall.
Nice.
He was first team All-State. He was Class 4 Defender of the Year. He had a lot of accolades this year, and they're rightfully deserved. He's a great student in the classroom. He's a leader on the field, and he's a great athlete. He's someone that you kind of want to build a program around with his mindset. And he was GAC South Conference Player of the Year. He was Class 4 Defender of the Year, first team All-State. And then Jason Weinhold as well was our other captain, senior midfielder, who also was first team All-State and, all first team All-Conference, all of those accolades as well. And then we had Mason Humans, who's a senior who, again, will be graduating and looking to play at the next level. He was second team All-State. And Cody Baden, our goalkeeper, who's a junior, who will be coming back to me next year, hopefully. He was also an All-State goalkeeper.
Nice. Yeah, it's really special. Special with being the player of the player. Being the virtuoso is something. I mean, you don't get it by just getting lucky. It must have took some preparation for that center back to be able to make all that.
Yeah, he's been he was a 4-year starter. He played basically every minute of his high school career, even as a freshman, and he's just kind of he's kind of what a student athlete's supposed to look like.
Yeah,
he's also the kicker for our football team. I know he got accolades for that. I don't know if he was All-State or All-Conference. He's probably going to yell at me for not knowing exactly which one of those he was, but I know he's an incredibly talented kicker as well. But yeah, he's a rock in the defense. It's a luxury to have players that are so experienced and so composed and just leaders. He was a leader on the field. He was a vocal leader, but he was also the kind of player that you want to, he'll lead you into battle. You follow him into battle. He's not going to tell you what to do. He's going to go show you how to do it.
That's right, man. And you just know it. You just feel it. They're different than others, and that they do ordinary things extraordinary well.
Yeah.
So here we go. We got that. Now you got your goalkeeper, your goal player, since he scored that goal. Magnificent. Always a good chipper. He would always be taking that sweeper back role. And then now to a goal player, he's starting to be in the mix, man. I think he's going to take the ball down and score.
yeah, it's pretty wild. That whole thing was, extremely crazy to be a part of. And the goalkeeper, that wasn't on my bingo card of a goalkeeper scoring in overtime in the state quarterfinal to punch our ticket to state. I did not have a goalkeeper free kick from 60 yards from goal on my bingo card, but we'll take it.
Yes, right. And that's a goal player thing with Franz Hook. He's called the godfather of goalkeepers. He's the one that made the sweeper keeper back in the day. Now he talks about being a goal player. So you guys are playing with 11. You're not. Other teams are playing with 10 plus a goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's a third center back for us essentially. I mean, he's very close to the ball at his feet. Yeah. He always gives me Cody. He gave me trouble throughout the year, just poking fun, saying he's like, "Hey, I brought my field kit with me," and I'm like, "You're gonna go ahead and play in goal." He's like, "No, I can play field." I'm like, "Hey, you're gonna go ahead and stay in goal, bud." But I appreciate the offer. But yeah, it shows his talent with the ball at his feet. I mean, he's obviously he's an elite level goalkeeper, distribution, shot stopping, all of those things. But having a guy who's that comfortable with the ball at his feet as a goalkeeper at the high school level is something that not a lot of schools are lucky enough to have, and it's something that we obviously took advantage of this year, and we will continue to take advantage of it next year.
So did you throw out any notes to the boys about the 2026 season, what to do, what to expect, how to prepare? Or is it, hey, man, you're on your own and we're going to come and you got to bring your best?
I mean, after our 2025 season wrapped, there was a little bit of time where guys will enjoy the holidays, and we wrapped up right before Thanksgiving, so it was kind of like guys are going to enjoy Thanksgiving, enjoy Christmas, and they have club seasons that are starting up, but they know that we'll start early June again, coming around and getting back into preseason fitness form. But all of them know that I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for all of their club results and such, and I know they'll be training we're lucky enough to have a lot of players that train and play at a high level, so I know they're going to be getting good training and staying fit. But there's going to be a little bit of downtime, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, we'll be ramping right back up and getting out there in the 100-degree heat in the summer and doing what we can to get ourselves ready.
Well, talking with Cody Baden, is there others that are coming aboard that that they're going to, be like the potential spotlighters out there in the on Mexico Road?
Yeah. So we did have 9 seniors that graduated, but we also had a good amount of underclassmen on the team. Giovanni Giffen he was an attacker for us. He played off the left. He played as an inverted left winger. Very talented. He was known, he's pretty known in the area. A lot of teams that played us would highlight him. He's our jersey number 9. He didn't play center forward, obviously. He played off the left, but he plays with a lot of flair. He's a good finisher. He can do things with the ball at his feet that not a lot of guys have the ability to do, and that kind of pops to a neutral that watches a high school game. They're like, "Who's that kid?" I'm like, "That's Joe." And Giovanni will be back next year, and we have a handful of other juniors and sophomores. I think Chase Worrell is a junior midfielder. He's probably he was one of the most, if not the most consistent players in our side this year. He didn't exactly get as much of the postseason accolades as I think he probably deserved. But he played, he was kind of a Swiss Army knife. He played midfield, he played defensive midfield, he played center back, and he didn't have the stats of some of the other players, but he's someone to where he's going to have a giant role next year, kind of anchoring that midfield. And obviously, I think the coaches and the schools in the area are going to know more about who he is if they don't already, just based on the talent that he possesses. But we're lucky enough. We have a couple sophomores, couple of freshmen even that were on our roster, and a handful of juniors. But there's definitely going to be a little bit of rotation that naturally happens when you graduate 9 seniors. But that's part of the thing I'm excited for, is you get to see other players get those chances, get those responsibilities, and see what they do with it.
And to finish up, your boys made the for God's sakes, the St. Louis High School Champions League. They left you in a pool play, baby.
Yeah, we were in the Champions League this past year, and I actually thought we performed really well. We were fortunate enough to win 2 of our 3 pool play games, but that wasn't enough to move on to the final round, because Ladue is a very good side, very rightfully so. They made it out of our pool, but yeah, this coming season we're back in the Champions League, which is always great. I think it's such a cool thing that they do, organizing the Champions League, just because it adds a little bit of extra bite to the high school game, and more trophies and hardware for players to play for, more opportunities to compete against the best teams in the area, and anytime you can play against the best of what St. Louis has to offer, you're lucky and fortunate enough to be in that position. It's always nice to be invited back, and you want to see you want to play against the best. And I mean, we're lucky enough to where we got invited back, and we're gonna do our best to give it a shot next season.
And just to get the Whale Nation up, getting goosebumps, you're in the pool with Francis Howell, the Vikings.
Yeah.
And you're Fort Zumwalt East down the street.
Yeah, it was. We saw the draw come out, and I was like, "Oh, that's real interesting that we get to play
and
a lot of familiar faces." Couldn't write a script better than that one. But,
yeah, and then you put in the last 2 finalists for the last 2 seasons. For the league. DeSmet, they've played in the final and they've lost twice. In the final, you got them in your pool, man. I mean,
every pool, and I mean the Champions League is it's some of the best. It's the best talent in the St. Louis area, and there's no easy pool.
No.
It's one of those, once all the pools get drawn, you're like, oh, that's a tough group. Oh, that's a tough group. Oh, that's a tough group too. They're all really tough.
Oh man, I mean to tell you, it's you look at the season. Okay, that's a W. Hey man, every game is on the line. It should bring your A+ game, babe.
Every time.
Yeah. And so Cody's got his Champions League all wrapped up, and then in that GAC, he's no longer the hunter. He's the hunted.
Yeah, he put his name on the map for those that didn't know who he was. I'm
yeah.
Sure he's up. I'm sure I know him pretty well. Obviously, he's going to be up for that challenge.
Oh yeah.
He's very calm. He's very confident, but
in
a composed way. He handles himself well. He's the kind of athlete that I know he's going to go on to play at the next level, wherever that may be. And,
right.
No moment's too big for him. He's a
said
player, and we're lucky to have him.
Well said. And excuse me. I don't know what the clip was or whatever, but I got to see not the goal, but his reaction and the team and the stands' reaction to that goal. I mean, that's the best of high school soccer, anytime, anywhere.
It was crazy to be a part of it. I was half waiting for a whistle or something to, like an offsides or a foul. I took an extra second to process because I didn't want to get my hopes up. But
yeah,
it was a cool moment, and we had a lot of parents in the stands with phones and with cameras, and there's a ton of photos and videos, and it's one of those moments where you think back and smile about it because it's a cool thing, and I'm excited for them because he's going to have that memory forever. Like it's, regardless, he could be in his 30s with kids, he could be in his 60s with grandkids, and he's going to be like, I remember that, at Francis Hall, that state quarterfinal. I mean, it's a cool experience for sure.
I played in the 70s, and the deal was there were several top 90 gold saving saves I made, but some of the guys are.
It's like some of those moments just stick with you forever. I mean, that's why we all play sports. It's why you.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously have a passion for the game, and it's kind of why we do it. We love to compete, but we love the sport. We love the memories, and But I have no documentation to it. And the guys are, falling off. They're losing their memories and stuff. Yeah. There's no huddle camera back then.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we're looking forward to pumping up the high school Champions League, get that all together. And then as far as the GHC, I know they're going to be on fire. They're going to say, hey, we got to do better than we did even last season. So you're going top shelf. And just the overall vibe of high school soccer. I got goosebumps the last couple of years just thinking about the high school game. I mean, it's really been going some.
No, it's incredible.
Yes.
Even within, I've been roughly my 10th year-ish coaching at various levels, and even from when I started to now, it's night and day. And there's a little bit of, I'm happy for the athletes that get to experience all of this, because when I played, there wasn't all the bells and whistles that there are now. I mean, now, like you said, everything's got film, and everyone's got the Champions League. There's more trophies, more tournaments to play in, more opportunities to play against the best teams, more accolades to earn, and everything's trying to help them play at the next level, more opportunities to kind of get your face and name out there, and all of a sudden that could help you get a scholarship to go play at your dream school. That could help you get a scholarship or get your name on the map for a school in the area that you want to attend, and it's awesome. I really, really like it, and I really appreciate all of the work. I know it's not an easy thing to do. I know there's a lot of work that goes into it, and that does not go unnoticed. The Champions League, all the tournaments, everyone's very accommodating. All the officials. I mean, it's crazy, and it's appreciated definitely by the Fort Zumwalt West community.
Well, you're well certified Hall of Fame now. You and the Jaguars, baby. I'm seeing to tell you, you closed out great, man. I mean, you hit it. You started good, and you finished on a high note, bro. I mean, yes, very nice. So I'm going to close it out.
Sounds good.
All right. So, Brian, man, I'm not going to try that name. So, all right. So,
Hruby, the H is silent. It's the easiest way to do it.
Hruby, baby. All right. So, anyway, here we go. I want you to know that I know that you're well certified Hall of Fame. And a lot of people can get well certified if they only try. So, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you, all right?
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thank you again for the opportunity to come on. And, it's great. Hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, we'll talk with the girls' season coming up.
Let's do it. Yeah, sounds great.
All right, then. Bye-bye now.
Bye.